Welcome to Stories Behind the Objects, where we explore the history behind Museum of the Rockies artifacts in 5 minutes or less. These bowls originally belonged to Frank J. Haynes, and they might be small in size, but they had a big impact on documenting and advertising Yellowstone National Park to the world during its early years. Frank J. or F.J. Haynes was considered the park's official photographer from 1884, when he officially received his lease for a photo studio and store in the park, until 1916, when his son Jack Ellis Haynes inherited the family business. Haynes's photographs were published in guidebooks, in news articles, as stereo views like the one you see here, and reproduced on postcards that were sent around the world. The pictures taken by F.J. Haynes helped to encourage the establishment of the national park and later helped promote travel to Yellowstone. Side note, please don't stand on the geysers. But what do these bowls have to do with Haynes's photographs? Many of the images produced by F.J. Haynes are sought after by Yellowstone memorabilia collectors, but it's his hand-colored photographic prints that are some of the most highly prized. These bowls were used by workers in Haynes studios to hand-color the photographs. The bowls held oil paints that were used to tint and color the images. The photographs were then sold primarily to tourists in Yellowstone. The hand-colored photographs were later replaced by machine-produced prints, a more cost-effective and less labor-intense way to create souvenir images. Some of the hand-colored photographs were also reproduced throughout the years by F.J. and Jack Ellis as postcards. Museum of the Rockies has many examples of these postcards. F.J. took photos of all different aspects of the park, from the most popular scenic views to wildlife to the interiors of the park hotels. Each postcard has a description of the image, and through the photographs and postcards you can see how the vivid colors and scenes would inspire travelers to come visit the park known as Wonderland. For example, where else would you get to ride your wagon into the wilderness and feed grizzly and black bears? The Haynes description of this postcard is, "Guests of the park derive great enjoyment from watching the antics of the bears." Side note, please don't feed the bears. Or maybe the thought of getting up close and personal to a geyser would inspire you to make the journey out to Wyoming. This is one of the more iconic images from Haynes, and the description notes, "Old Faithful Geyser, 150 feet, is not the highest geyser, but is by far the favorite one. Its eruptions occurring every hour last about 4 minutes. All together now, please don't walk up to Old Faithful. F.J. and Jack Ellis Haynes controlled a photography dynasty in the park for decades. From 1884 through 1967, the Haynes family was synonymous with images of Yellowstone National Park. Whether they were hand-colored, black and white, or mass-produced, the images taken and sold by Frank J. and Jack Ellis Haynes brought Yellowstone to the world.